Chris.
Yeah.
Funny or hate crime?
Sure.
All right. You want to introduce this?
Is it ready to go, Jim? Mm-hmm. Well, Steve, right now the Stanley Cup Finals are almost upon us. The Colorado Avalanche have already punched their ticket to the finals. What remains to be seen is whether they will be facing the New York Rangers or the Tampa Bay Lightning. So they played Game 5. The series was tied 2-2. 2 nights ago, they played Game 5 in New York, Madison Square Garden, and it was close. It was 1-1 up until the end of the third period, and then Tampa scored, which is a heartbreaking way to lose. Obviously, Rangers fans were devastated. Yeah. And then this happened.
You don't know what's up.
Did you see the way that big kid fell?
Dropped like a sack of damn potatoes.
All right, now can we pause it? Now, it goes on for what? Is it a minute 40?
Yeah.
There's really only one thing of note here, and I don't even know where it happens, but so I guess we'll just watch the rest of this. I don't know.
Sure.
There's many people yelling security, but Jim, can you stop it? Here's the thing about security. They are not there to render medical aid or protect you in any way. They're there to stop you from breaking up the building. If you want the attention of the security, knock over a trash can or throw it at a concession stand. That is the only way they will help you in any way. But fortunately, there are passersby who are trying. I think they're
very vigilant.
I think they're doing one of these
and attentive to the needs. But they're attentive to the needs of an opposing fan, which I think says a lot about the majority of the people in this video versus the aggressor.
Right.
He's dead.
All right. Stop. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Well, we should point out that he is not indeed dead.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He required no medical attention after he woke up, which is great.
Probably a concussion, though.
Yeah, I guess that can't be immediately diagnosed.
Right, but the long-term effects could result.
Sure. Yeah, and it can kill someone. Not so much the punch that knocks you out. If you fall and hit your head, that people have died that way. Not from the punch, but so he's going to say this several times. So I guess just let it roll.
Yeah, he died. Whose phone is this? He got knocked out. He got knocked out. He's dead.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. What, somebody knocked him out?
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy over color than the full black.
He did it. Yep. The guy's dead. Who is calling who what?
So this guy over there in the black is the other guy threw a punch and some other guy threw a punch.
Yeah. The dude in the red shirt was the fucking one who hit us. Yeah, bro. The dude is fucking nailed his fucking dude. That fucking dude in the red shirt is the one who fucking did it. That's fucked up. Crazy, right, buddy? Amazing how these things happen.
This one! Keep it moving!
Yeah.
You don't know what's up.
Here's the punch once again. Man.
That's a man who knows how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell watching it here how many times that guy said he's dead.
Right.
But it's almost as if he had a life insurance policy on him.
Yeah, it seems like wishful thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, maybe the weirdest part of this.
But do we know what precipitated this incident?
No, that's unfortunately we don't. I read a bunch of news articles and no one was able to get a quote or anything about anyone who saw what was going on beforehand.
And by the way, I'd like to say it doesn't matter to me. If words were exchanged and that was the result of those words, I'm against violence across the board. The response to words should be more words, perhaps more damning words, more hurtful words, but nothing should ever result in that.
Well, what if the Lightning fan had said he had alopecia? Would that change your mind? I couldn't remember who was supposed to have alopecia in that scenario. That's what I was like, hey, which one of them has it? You're right, Steve. You're absolutely right. And this guy, he was arrested. I don't think he even got out of the building. You saw people saying, the guy in a red shirt.
Yeah.
He was arrested. He, who knows? If New York is anything like Philadelphia, they'll probably give him an award. With the prosecutor we have now, who goes around bragging about how empty the prisons are in Philadelphia, who knows if this guy will be prosecuted? But he was arrested. Sorry to jump on my soapbox there.
You're fine, Chris.
Yeah, but I have to say, man, if you're that Tampa fan, number one, Jim, can we go back? And you'll see this guy drop a beer. Now, I've been to many. See that beer can that's leaking on the floor right there? Because he dropped it when he got hit. Jim, go back to the beginning.
You don't know what's
Watch the beer can fall out of his hand. He's got it. See it? You see it, right?
Yeah.
This is the end of a game. Steve, I've been to many Flyers games, not Madison Square Garden, but right down the road, basically. And they stopped selling beer. What are we doing here? All right. They stopped selling beer at the end of the second period,
Right.
or the beginning of the third.
Right.
That means this guy's been drinking for at least 3 hours, right? You know you're going in. Well, I don't understand what's happening.
There's music.
You know you're going in. Like I said, it was a critical game 5. If the Rangers lose, the fans are going to be upset, especially if it's a close game right up until the very end, like it was. So, and you're already wearing a Lightning T-shirt or a jersey. You're drawing all this attention to yourself. You gotta keep your head down and get the hell out of there at the end of that game. Not walk around drunk. We don't know what he said, as he said, but I mean, it seemed like he was being braggadocious just by his body language. And you just got, not that he deserved this, but you got to be smarter than that, man.
But he was enjoying his team's victory. And if the shoe was on the other foot, as they say, or the skate perhaps was on the other foot, the Rangers fans would be talking smack. Would they not?
Not in the opposing team's building. You do that in your own building, man.
But if you see a supporter of the other side,
you have to have some expectation that this could happen to you if you're this guy. And
you should have no expectation of being dropped like a sack of potatoes.
Dude, that's no, come on, man. If you walk down the street with money, with $100 bills hanging out the back pocket of your jeans, and then you're surprised when they get taken from you, come on, dude. No, that person is still wrong for taking them from you, but have some freaking street smarts, I don't know.
I don't agree. I don't think words should ever be met with violence.
I don't disagree with that, Steve. But you have to understand that there's
Yeah, you do. You're comparing this to robbery.
No, yeah.
People don't get robbed because they say something.
If you lack street smarts, you make yourself a potential victim. Have some smarts and don't do things. Look, we all agree that this shouldn't have happened, right?
But
Steve, no wait, this should not have happened.
Right.
But there are bad people out there who don't care what should or should not happen. Don't make yourself a pawn to them. Defend yourself. This Lightning fan was being stupid and probably drunk, which factored into it, I'm sure. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I
don't know. But how drunk could he have been if he was sipping a beer for an entire period?
You can buy 3 at a time, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And in my experience, they come in 25-ounce cans.
And also, I mean, you talk about him not being street smart. I guess you're trying to say he's not from New York.
No,
but who lives in Tampa who is not from New York?
Yeah, good point. No, I'm not saying anything about that. I think you can grow up in New York these days and you could not be street smart. There's all kinds of gentrified areas, and it's not like, man, I'll tell you, I was in Philly recently, right? And I live outside Philly now. I used to be downtown every day, but I hadn't been there in a while. And I'm walking down the street, and there's a whole bunch of people standing on a corner. And I'm like, well, what the hell is this, right? I get to the corner, and I realize they're waiting for the street light, even though there are no cars anywhere nearby. So me and like another guy who's a couple years older than me, we're like, excuse us. We keep walking across the street. I'm like, these freaking kids standing on the corner waiting for a sign to tell them when to walk. When there's no cars, they're in no danger. They're making themselves victims. I mean, you got to have some street smarts, man. Don't make yourself a victim.
Okay. But that's not so much street smarts as it is logic. You don't cross the street at certain times because it's unsafe. But if you can see that it's safe, you're free to cross the street regardless of what the sign says.
Yeah. No. Now we've somehow, I don't mean to shit on younger generations. I don't want to be that old guy. Hey, kids, get off my lawn. I don't want to be that guy, but man, I feel like they don't, I don't know. Somehow there's a lack of street smarts that I see in younger people in gentrified areas of cities. And I think they're setting themselves up to be victims. And I don't know who this Lightning fan is. Maybe that's him, maybe it's not.
Well, one thing we haven't done is determine whether or not this is funny, a hate crime, both, or neither. Would you like to judge first?
I'll let you go first, but I will say that we take a very wide view of what a hate crime is on this show.
well, see, in my opinion, in this case, it really depends on whether or not this was an act of hockey hooliganism, sectarianism within the ranks of hockey fans. And I'm not sure that's the case. We don't know what was said.
Yeah.
It could be considered a hate crime if you're part of a group that this person opposes based on the fact that they're a part of an opposing group. We don't know that that's the case. So I'm going to have to say neither. I don't find it funny.
Yeah. No, the only thing funny was the guy, he dead. He's dead. Yeah. It's not funny. I think, we're not sticking to the legal definition of hate crime. So there was a lot of hatred there. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it hate crime, not funny.
Okay.
And you're going with neither.
I'm going with neither.
All right.
Hate crime indeterminate. Because, again, we don't know whether this was related to one guy being a fan of one team and vice versa.
All right.